Well, good morning. Welcome to dreary Hampshire on an October morning. My name's Kevin Ahronson. I'm the founder of the Hampshire School of Photography and I'm the blogger on Photo School. What am I called? Phototeacher.blog. Phototeacher.blog. It's quite a new blog. I had one before, I hated it, so I got rid of it. The new one's been running about 4 or 5 weeks, and I'm really trying to fill it full of really interesting stuff for photographers, particularly those who are just getting into photography, those who are learning. I want photography and the learning process to be fun and interesting, and not full of really stupid dogmatic views. RAW. JPEG. We're going to be talking about RAW and JPEG. Let's assume you've got a camera, and if you've got one like this, this is my new Fuji X-T3. This is my new love child. Gosh, I love this. I've had it about 3 weeks, and I truly believe this is one of the best cameras I've ever owned. I keep seeing all these reviews on the internet saying it's the best crop frame camera out there. And it does amazing things for video, which are no interest to me. I don't need high special video for this. This is shot on a cheap Canon G7X, which cost about 500 quid. But the video on here at 4K pound is mind-blowing, outperforming anything else on the market. Certainly within its price range, certainly for a crop frame. Anyway, not interested in that. I'm a stills man. Yeah, mainly stills. Gosh, do you know, I waffle so much sometimes I completely forget what I'm here for. Talking about RAW and JPEG. So you take a picture, it's saved as a JPEG file. You see that on the back here, you load it on a computer. They both look fantastic. And that's because when the lights hit the sensor at the back of the lens, when the light hits the sensor, the camera's algorithms then kick in and they start processing the image to give you what the manufacturers think is the best possible image you can get out of that particular camera. And it'll tweak things like brightness and contrast and color intensity, how black the blacks are, how white the whites are, and even apply an element of sharpening, although it's not really sharpening, it just gives the impression it's sharp. But the picture looks great on here. But in the process, the image is saved in a smaller file size, so they compress the data, and that means some information is lost. So when you put it on your computer, you're kind of limited to some extent as to how much you can edit. Now you can edit quite a lot of it, there's quite a lot of things you can do, but a better alternative, if you're really into editing, might be to do something else. And that's to shoot in RAW. Now RAW is spelled R-A-W, raw data. It's the raw data of the sensor. And if you save a file into RAW and put that in your Lightroom or whatever software you're using, so Lightroom, where are we? Oh, I haven't even got it loaded. All right, silly old me. Silly old Kevin. If you put a RAW file into Lightroom, you can then manipulate an incredible amount of information and data on that file, and you can not only change the things that the camera's done to create the JPEG that you take off of it, but you can do extraordinary other things. And this isn't the kind of video, this teaching video is nothing, I can't demonstrate that to you today. You just have to take my word for it, because there's so much data coming straight off the sensor. You can change all those things that the camera did. You can change the black point, the white point, the sharpness, the color intensity, but you can just work on certain colors and certain tone ranges. And you can add tints and color fills and for many people, and sometimes I include myself in this, for many people, the creative process of getting the photo is only halfway there when you take the image on the camera. The whole editing process is part of that creativity. So many photographers they'll take the image and then go and spend ages editing it and producing amazing works of art. And of course, there are some people who say, it's wrong to edit. I want to take it straight out of the camera. If you do anything else, it's a less genuine photo. Yeah? Tell that to Van Gogh. I mean, he didn't manipulate the picture very much, did he? I bet you like Van Gogh. So get off it. I don't want to hear idiots saying, yeah, editing's wrong, or shooting in JPEG is wrong, or shooting in RAW is wrong. One thing I really want to dispel the myth of. One thing I really want to dispel as a myth is that there is only one way to take a photograph. There are lots of ways, and it's what suits you. So for instance, if I'm on a paid job, I'll shoot RAW. I want full creative control in the editing process, and if I do slightly overcook the images and they're a bit bright or maybe a little bit dark, I want the ability to be able to properly recover that information in software afterwards. Now, it's rare that I do make those kind of mistakes. I do make them. Oh, here's a clue. All professionals make mistakes. How about that? Yeah, all of them. Every single one of us, we all make mistakes. I've been shooting, getting on for 15 years now. I'm not quite there yet, but I still make mistakes daily. Gosh, good job I'm not a surgeon, isn't it? Yeah, but I do. So knowing that if I shoot in RAW, I can recover from most of my mistakes, particularly if I'm shooting with a mirrorless camera, because in a mirrorless, what you see in there is what you get out the other end. So you actually make less mistakes with these than you do with a DSLR. Still have DSLRs. I shoot Canon DSLRs full frame. So I've got a couple of Canon bodies and 3 Fuji bodies, which are crop frame. I'm going, oh God, you just hate that when you talk. You go off piste and forget what you're talking about. Editing. Yeah, editing. I think I was talking about editing. No, talking about people, weren't we, who are very dogmatic in their views. So my viewpoint is, I'll use whatever I need for the circumstances. So when I go on holiday, I shoot in JPEG. Why the hell would I want to come back from holiday and spend 3 or 4 days editing my own shots when I could be running my business and serving my customers better? I'm not going to come home and do that. So I shoot all my holidays in JPEG. And if perhaps I go out for a day up to London with the missus and the grandkids, I'll do that in JPEG as well. But if someone's paying me, then I need a backup plan in case things go slightly wrong, so I shoot in RAW. There is no right or wrong way, it's whatever suits you. Another interesting thing, because the camera, when it shoots a JPEG, pretties the picture up for you, that's what you get on the back here, whether you shoot in JPEG or RAW. Yes, so if you shoot in RAW, you get a JPEG preview on the back. Did you know that? You get a JPEG preview on the back of your screen, even though you're shooting in RAW. That's annoying, because when you look at a RAW file on your computer, it looks dull. It's had all the information stripped out of it, other than the basic info. So there's no intensification of colour or brightness or darkness or anything else. It's just a dull, lifeless looking image. But the picture you've had on your camera has been amazing. So you think to yourself, God, that was a beautiful sunset. Put it on the camera, on the computer. Gosh, that looks really rubbish. I'm sure I took a better picture than that. That's because the preview on the back of your camera is a JPEG. Put the RAW file on your computer, it looks dull and lifeless. It's there for you to adjust all your sliders so that it becomes amazing. Yeah. Good, eh? I think that's probably covered most of what I wanted to say today. A bit of waffle. If you've got any questions about JPEG or RAW, post them down below and I'll get back to you. If you'd like some one-to-one training with your camera or maybe editing, I teach on both Photoshop and Lightroom for photographers, give me a shout and we'll see what we can do. And I'm about to launch webcam one-to-one where I can teach anybody in the world privately via webcam. And that even means going through Photoshop and Lightroom, so we can do that online. So if that interests you, then please do drop me a line. Speak to you on the next blog. Vlog. Blog? Vlog. It's a vlog. Video blog. Whatever.